They call it the city that never sleeps, the city of dreams, the Big Apple, the crossroads of the world. It's said that if you can make it there, you could make it anywhere. So they come from across the globe with bags full of hopes and dreams, and the city welcomes them. But dreams are rarely what they are believed to be, for while the city may never sleep, still night falls. And it is in the night that the children of Cain wake and play out the masquerade in my city. Beware, children, lest ye fall.
Oh, hi everyone! This is Sleepy Wandering DM. Welcome to another episode of our Vampire the Masquerade campaign called Vampire Nightfall. Before we go around the table and introduce ourselves, I just want to say that this stream, like all of our streams on the channel, is sponsored by Maygen Press. Maygen Press, you can go on their store at store.maygenpress.com, use code WanderingDM to get 15% off anything you purchase, such as the Dark Matter supplement for 5th edition, which is D&D in Space, which, according to my own non-biased opinion, is much better than Starfinder. We play Dark Matter every Tuesday here if you want to see the book in action. Otherwise, they have a plethora of other resources for D&D 5th edition, such as new classes, new spells, expanded settings like the Feywild, the Book of Fey, and the Book of Mimic, I think, is out now. Why, I'm getting a... What's up? Why are you shaking your head? You're muted.
I'm not getting any sound from Twitch.
From Twitch? That's not my problem. We good?
No, somebody had muted the entire system. It was fine. I fixed it.
Oh, all right. Well then, because I was
That's
seeing,
me.
like, for once I knew that I didn't hit the mute button because I could see it. But that said, I today am playing Sid Zimmerman, the Vampire Gangrel PI. And I have with me a cast of glorious players, one of which will be arriving soon. but we will start without our gremlin stepson. So let's go and introduce the rest of the cast real quick. Scott, who are you and who are you playing?
I am Scott, and I will be playing Alexander Erickson, our resident Ventru and other half of the Vamp Dads.
And Alyssa, who are you and who are you playing?
I'm Alyssa, or Alexander Slamilton. I am playing Auden St. James, the precocious art daughter.
And as a storyteller for this game, we have Deirdre. Hi, Deirdre. How are you?
I'm good. I'm real good. Love when things work. But yes, and we're all back again in New York. Some interesting things have been happening in the city. Some violent altercations on the floor of Elysium, sanctioned by the prince and possibly a form of entertainment for her. Rising tensions between the Vamp Dads and one Francesca Maselli. Possible Tremere? Question mark. Who apparently has some ability with blood magic. Although the Vamp Dads don't know that their gremlin stepson has a date tonight with her. That could be entertaining to find out what happens. They're trying to find these CPAs and probably figure out what else is going wrong in New York. Definitely maybe want to look into those records that they have sitting in their brownstone. But when we left off, the Vamp Dads and precocious art daughter had just stepped out of the store workshop of one Rebecca Leibowitz to the one visibly on the street, Akbar Kianan, a gangrel of Sid's acquaintance who had some was very focused on Auden last night in Elysium. But Sid also noticed that there were an additional 8 other gangrel messing around in hidden places on the street. And I think that's where we're going to pick up.
So, these friends of yours?
I don't recognize them. I think. Hey, Bob, is that you? Yeah, no, it's the none of them.
Well, this certainly changes our night plans.
I mean, you would recognize Akbar, but he's kind of standing on the street and doesn't seem to be part of the others that are around. Or he's not reacting to them.
Your crush is watching, Auden.
I think it's more he's got a crush on me. Hi! And I'm just gonna twirl the hair and wave.
He doesn't seem to respond, but he's very obviously staring intently at you, and then you can roll me perception empathy.
Normal difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get those rolls started. 1 success.
You're used to men staring at you.
It's a
Let's-
gift.
It's a fact of life, right? You're used to men staring at you. But as usually, as you get used to it, unfortunately, men, when they are staring intently at you and they desire to flirt with you, usually it's not their face that their eyes are tracking. It's not your face that their eyes are tracking to. He seems to be looking almost directly at you, not quite making eye contact, but not distracted in other means, shall we say.
Interesting. I think she's just gonna be like, all right, cool. This is great. Great. Awesome. Hi. Have we met? Can we help you?
Akbar's gonna walk across the street towards you, stop maybe 15 feet, and still staring at you very intently. Zimmerman Erickson, might I borrow your associate?
Kind of weird to ask Daddy's permission when I'm standing right here. I kind of have a whole, hi, you can ask me.
Yeah, she's her own
directly.
person. Like, go ahead, you can just turn around and ask her. It's not that hard.
But introductions have not been made.
Then
Oh, no need to be
introduce
so formal.
yourself.
And he turns to Sid.
Akbar, this is, Auden, this is Akbar. Introductions have been made. Now go and talk to each other. I think I'm about to fuck up 8 more people tonight.
Don't make too much of a mess.
Don't make any mess. We
Are
have too many
they
other issues.
with you?
No,
Then what the hell are they doing here?
I have no knowledge. Although that one smells. And he kind of turns and looks directly to his left. And Auden, you and Alex wouldn't see what he's looking at, but Sid, you are very aware of the gentleman on the 3rd floor of the fire escape looking like he's about to jump off of it. But that one smells. Definitely not an appropriate individual. Auden, if you have a moment, someone wishes to speak with you and they hired me to find you.
Oh, and who hired you?
I don't reveal clients' names, but he did leave this
We're
card.
among friends.
He
Card.
presents you a card.
And what do I see when I look at the card?
A very elaborate, stylized, it's a white business card, very heavy stock, but with a very stylized and intricate monogram. You can make out the letters NH on it in a gold leaf with red underlines and accents.
And here I thought you were looking for a date, Akbar. How much did he pay you to come find me?
Enough.
Can I pay you more to give him a message that I'm not coming?
The job was only to find you. It did not mention anything about bringing you to him.
Oh, perfect. You found me. And Auden's going to just tear the card up while staring Akbar in the eye and be like, you did your job. We're good?
Don't make too much of a mess, Sid. And he turns around and walks across the street, and you can track him to an alley where he just seems to disappear.
Auden, I am incredibly proud of you. Sid, should I plan to get dirty?
I don't know. Hey, boys, what are your plans tonight?
One of the 7 still hanging around, very obviously intently staring at the 3 of you, drops from the 3rd floor fire escape, the gentleman that Akbar said smelled rather poorly, and is a little bit taller, not heavy set, but built that old school Hollywood, almost barrel chested level of musculature, long-ish hair, but not really long enough to tie back. Full beard, blonde, kept cropped close. Jean denims and ripped off sleeves, tats. Approaches you, Sid, and says, "Brother, father would like his property."
Who the what now?
Father would like his property. I've been sent to collect it.
Care to give me a description?
A box of papers that you took out of a brownstone on 79th Street and Broadway.
Oh, that. Oh. Yeah.
And that's all you need?
He kind of turns, looks at Alex, and then just does that very cut direct and turns and looks at Sid as if Alex has no bearing on this conversation.
Yeah, what he said. That the only thing?
That is all at the moment.
Well then. They're home. I can have them sent to father.
I shall accompany you to collect them.
Well, but you do so alone. I don't need to have 8 stinking Gan girls coming up to my house.
He seems to nod, raise his hand, and just shake it behind his head. And you kind of, Sid, you know where they are. You watch them kind of fade back one by one.
Not usually in a party mood, but all right then.
I had enough blood for tonight.
Whom did you kill tonight? I only noticed yesterday's events.
Oh wait, was that yesterday? The nights go, they blur into one another.
Do you need us to come with you, Sid? Or can you handle it?
I just need to go back home. Alright, come on. And I'll motion to the gangrel to follow me.
He does. He kind of waits for you to pass him by. He seems, just in his body language and the way he's approaching things, not threatening, but that could change if it needed to. But at the moment, he doesn't see this as a need to be threatening. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
He has a goal. He needs to achieve his goal. Threatening isn't necessarily at the moment to achieve that goal. Therefore, he does not need to be threatening. but he'll walk behind you. Back from Rebecca's, are you all going back to the Brownstone, or Alex, what are you and Auden doing?
I'm heading back to the Brownstone.
Yeah, I guess I would follow too.
Walking back?
Yeah, we're not too far from the Brownstone.
Yeah.
About, 10 blocks, but sure. Okay. So you make your way back home with the gentleman who has yet to give you a name and doesn't even seem to address any of you. Auden, however, you have somebody in your ear that you are listening to,
Oh, yes.
and you hear Herschel has switched, no longer is lambasting the cryptozoology site that he's on, apparently, and their issues of inaccurate lupine and vampire breeding practices. And he is now informing you that he's gotten his text message, he's proceeding to his date, and he will keep you updated. I am now at the Fulton Street station, approaching the 1 train. The 1 train is late by 2 minutes. I am now on the 1 train. Herschel levels of spying.
I am immediately sending him a text message like, you don't have to narrate everything.
You don't get a response, but he seems to slow down his narration, or the subway tunnel is messing it up. One of those 2 things is happening.
I'm just going to send him a text that's like, this isn't an audiobook. You don't need to keep going. It's fine. And I'm also going to say, like, we're heading back to the Brownstone. Updates to come.
Auden, could you roll me a D2?
I got 1.
When you get back to the Brownstone, the front door is locked and secured.
Whew. Well, that's one thing off the mind. I'm gonna have to unlock. I'm gonna have to like dig for keys for a second and unlock it. Did we meet Sid back?
No. But you're the only one who knew that Herschel was leaving.
True.
You were all kind of walking together, I'm assuming. Were you trying to stay back behind him or stay away from Sid?
No. I probably wasn't paying attention to where he was, though. So I was probably not totally sure if he was still near us.
So, Sid, you get back to your domain. You have a guest who waits very patiently at the threshold of your door.
Yeah. I'm not inviting him in. And, I'll go grab the boxes from, the papers from next to the asshole, jar.
They're not currently next to the asshole drawer anymore. They're actually right inside the door of your office.
Oh, yeah, right, because Elizabeth. Yep.
She is very efficient.
I, pick up the box, go outside, hand it over.
Thank you. I look forward to seeing you at more family gatherings, brother.
Yeah, whatever.
And he turns and kind of half nods to you, looks at Alexander but ignores him, and then just kind of turns and smiles. That polite, almost flirtatious smile of restraint, that restrained, flirtatious smile at Auden as he turns and walks down the stairs.
Run along.
So, I guess the question is now what?
Well, I'm going to go dig through the Tremere's records. Sid, there should be a copy of Eckerd's records if you want to take a look and see what they've been into.
Yeah. Since he wants them so bad.
There's something they're hiding.
Obviously. Well, I already know about all of his properties.
Are there a lot of them?
3, I think, total. On this place. Yeah, sorry. 2, 3 properties in the city, 2 upstate, and 1 in Vienna. Which, isn't
Vienna.
such a mystery anymore.
Well then. I think I am going to do a little work upstairs. You can holler if you need me.
Alright.
I'm just going to go upstairs and work on some art things, but also wait for updates from Herschel.
You're going to be his Cyrano in his ears for this event, apparently.
Oh, I am going to do my best. We'll see if he takes my advice.
Okay. Right before we do that, we'll just go to a quick break. We'll hop Herschel back in, and we'll be right back. And we have a Herschel.
So, Alex, you've gone upstairs to go look at the Tremere's records again. Auden's gone upstairs to try and make sure that she can help Herschel on his romantic escapades. Sid, what are you doing?
Going through the papers, all of his tax records and other accounting stuff.
Can you roll me? What is it specifically? Either intelligence investigation or wits investigation. One of those two.
Wait, what was the first Investigation.
Intelligence
and-
investigation or wits investigation.
I'll go with wits investigation. If you give me a choice.
I'm giving you a choice. You'll get slightly different information with both, but there's a reason why you get a choice.
Difficulty 6.
Yep.
Well, apparently 1 success and 3 10.
Go ahead and re-roll them.
So, 1, 2,
3
3
altogether?
successes.
Yep. Nice.
Yeah, 3 successes.
Now having, with what you've learned from Rebecca and Sabrina and other experiences you've had with Francesca and the interactions with Eckhard and the blood magic there, the connections to the Tremere seem stronger in the notes that you can find. You discover that Eckhard has spent most of the last 15 years in Vienna, or being more accurately, based out of Vienna, the information that you can find. You know that he's moving money and that he is withdrawing money from his accounts, and not seeming to deposit it anywhere. But you do see that he spent time in Switzerland briefly in the last 5 years.
Okay.
About maybe 4 days in Zurich. You also would notice, and it tickles the back of your mind until you go back and cross-reference the notes you got at the beginning with the properties that were being shut down through social media attacks and usage of the like the health department or the fire department, public safety, that bunch of the properties that get shut down, Eckhard had investments in and was investing pretty substantially in ones that were owned by Tremere. And you would also see that recently, as in the past 6 weeks recently, he has invested in a lot more firepower than one would expect of just, a gangrel ready to go out and deal with his own problems.
Okay. And just out of curiosity, the not the time he spent in Zurich, but like after, when you said he invested into like properties owned by the Tremere and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Does it look like fiscal suicide?
No, it looks like the properties he was investing in that were owned by the Tremere, those investments are long standing.
Okay.
But those properties that he was those businesses that he was invested in, a number of them, not all of them, but a number of them had been targeted for this. Whoever dogs of the search are running this social media campaign against Kindred-owned businesses.
Okay.
One property in particular, it seems he's been invested in since the 30s. You would actually recognize the address of that property.
Is it the place where I found the dead guy?
Yeah, in the Bowery.
Okay.
On God, I have to look at the map again, sorry. I have it on the map. I just don't have it on that map. That's the wrong one. On Forsyth and Bowery.
Okay.
So you that's one of those properties that seems to have been a long-standing investment going back to the 30s. Different from what you can trace based on what's there, different public owners and different public statements to like the city of New York and state of New York about what the property was doing there, but definitely he's had some level of ownership of that building and whatever has been going on there for 80 years now.
Okay.
Alex, you're also doing some digging.
Yep.
Would you like to roll me intelligence investigation?
I was going to ask if I could roll either intelligence and finance.
Ooh, yes. Yes, you can.
Okay. Intelligence and finance. And 5 successes. Oh, you're muted.
Sorry, muted myself the other way. You, based on what you know now and things you've discovered previously, you can definitely see that a bunch of the properties that were, again, like Sid saw, that were targets for this social media undermining, closure of whatever reason, are owned by the Tremere across the city. And they're long-standing, almost 100, 150 years. You find one property even going back about 200 years that the Tremere have owned and maintained. You would also see a couple bills of sale that are older, like 6 months. It seems to be the first of the first couple of these properties that were hit and targeted. Definitely they ended up having to sell one or two of these properties. You find the bill of sale and an account number, but you don't have a specific, there's no name on who they sold the property to, at least in this pile of documents. But it's the same account number for both properties that they sold.
And then can we compare, I guess, from what I'm finding from the Tremere to what Sid's finding with Eckerd's records? See if there's anything that lines up, or
The two of you can talk all you want.
okay.
And I will say, if the two of you wish to combine, you can ask me 4 questions.
So I'll pack up what I have from the box and bring it down to Sid's office and fill him in on what I've discovered among these records. Any luck finding anything with yours?
Stein is buying a lot of property.
Buying a lot of property. Well, I found that the Tremere there's a few records of them selling a few things.
Let's see if they match.
Why would Eckerd be buying property from the Tremere?
Point of clarification, because I want to make sure that this is clear. Eckerd had been investing in their businesses for long periods of time.
Oh, okay. He's just investing in it. He's not buying them out.
No,
Yep.
He's not buying them out at all. He's moving money out of his bank accounts, but he's not buying anything from the Tremere. He's merely investing in it.
Okay. And then you said all of the investment properties that he was putting money into were the ones that were shutting down.
A number of them, yes.
Okay.
A number of those properties overlap with the list of properties that you have. And two of them you have bills of sale for someone else that bought
Yep.
those properties.
And that's what I'm going to hand to Sid and just go, well, these two stick out to me. They're sold to the same account, but it's not listed to who, but these are properties that the Tremere have held for, longer than I've been dead.
Are those two properties also properties that he invested in?
One is.
And do we know what that property is that he invested in?
By current accounts, it's listed as a gentleman's club. Digging through it some more, you don't find any employment records for, any strippers, or any other obvious entertainers. No one's listed as that. There's a single employee listed on the address as a bartender and major domo. And two others listed as security.
So a bar with only the bartender.
Seems weird.
That's very odd. Also, the sheer fact that they've had this property for almost 150 years and decided to dump it. When does it show when it was sold?
It seems to have been sold about 6 months ago, and it seems to have been one of the first two properties attacked by this social media blitz. The health department had to come in because there was accounts of food poisoning tied to the property and shut it down. And it was shut down for 3 weeks before it was sold.
You want to go take a look?
Of course. I'll have Elizabeth dig up what she can on the two properties. And as I say that, I'm texting Elizabeth, to pull whatever records you can for these two properties. Whatever's available publicly. Anything that's private, we can have Herschel dig up. And actually, I'm going to text Herschel because he's not here. Hey, just wanted you to look into a couple of properties. Everything that we can't get to publicly. When you have time.
I'll text back a K.
Yeah, okay. Actually, let's transition over to Herschel. Herschel, you, earlier while you were waiting around for your date to let you know what's going on, you had been doing some research into cryptozoology and academically peer reviewing apparently a very poor individual who could not accurately discuss lupine and vampire breeding practices, and decided to explain to him loudly and in detail. You then received a text message from Franny saying she's running a little bit late, but she would really appreciate it if you would meet her at an address that she gives you at 52nd and 9th.
Yeah, I'm totally cool with that.
So you left the house, making sure to lock the door behind you this time, and proceeded to narrate your spy trip to Auden, who twice let you know that you don't need to let her know.
Not an audiobook. You
Uh,
don't have to
the-
narrate.
The train is arriving.
I just want to note that Alexander is also very proud of Herschel for locking the door.
I get a gold star on the little like chore list.
On the chore
the
board,
week.
yes, you get a star.
Whatever. I'm still the favorite.
It takes you a couple, it's like 10, 15 minutes uptown to 52nd Street. The address that she gives you, I mean, it's not hard to find. It's it's like a block away from the station on the north side of the street. It's a nondescript building, normal brownstone, but it's got a awning and a stairs downstairs that has a small sign out front.
What does the sign say?
It's not what it says that draws your attention, Herschel. It's what it is. It's an image. Very quiet, very simple sign of the Tremere clan logo.
Could I have stopped and got like a small like bouquet of flowers, like wildflowers,
Oh, God,
not
yeah.
roses?
Yeah. There's a bodega on the corner. You totally stopped at the bodega and got bodega flowers.
Yeah. So I'm like, so like, do you think roses would be too like soon?
No, you're fine. Get the. She just texts. It's like roses are fine. Get a mix of flowers. You'll be fine.
Yellow or red? Like yellow's like for friends, but like red's like for like love stuff. Which one?
Mixed signals. Get a mix of the two.
I get a bouquet of yellow and red roses.
Auden doesn't want this to like become an ongoing relationship, which is also like, play it cool.
Oddly, as you're leaving the bodega, Billy Joel's Uptown Girl starts playing from the radio.
I love
Literal uptown girl.
Now. So you see this small sign, kind of nondescript, next to the awning. A square with a circle, and a square with a circle, and a square with a circle with a triangle off to the side. I have a question. How well educated is Herschel about kindred imagery?
I don't know, Dad's like, how much have you taught me?
I mean, we would have taught him.
How much would you have listened to Alexander?
Not much, but it's pretty cool.
I think enough to recognize the sigil of every clan.
I'm sure Alexander would have gone into more detail, but Herschel would have not listened. Or at least very intently.
Yeah, my thing would be like showing like the different images and be like either fuck them or don't fuck with them.
Yes. Tremere would have been a fuck them, but don't fuck with them.
So like right in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if it was a Venn diagram, they would be right in the middle.
The people that you should hate and should fuck with, they are kind of that way.
Yeah, so I'll just like in my little lapel mic, like, there's a Tremere logo on a sign out here.
Auden's just gonna type back, ... Well, shit. Hope you brought a weapon. Gun emoji, knife emoji, bat emoji.
All right, I'll just go on inside, and I'll go up and knock on the door, or ring the bell if there's one, or the knocker.
As you approach the door, an individual seems to come to open it even before you can get close to knocking on the door. What, out of curiosity, does Herschel look like in this moment?
Auden, kid, what do I look like?
We gave him a sort of darker blazer and a nice casual but still kind of classy shirt and some jeans that were clean.
Am I wearing a tie?
No tie. No tie.
No
Business
tie. Okay.
casual. So it looks like you put effort in, but not like a ton of effort.
The individual who greets you at this door is a taller African American woman in a very well-fit black dress with hints of orange and blue kente cloth on the sides. She has her hair pulled back and up in a very stylized natural fro. And she merely looks at you for a moment, nods. The lady will see you upstairs.
Okay. And I'll
This way.
stroll in awkwardly.
And she'll kind of turn and gesture, and you see her nod to a figure that's standing there. Not quite, you can't quite make out their features. They seem almost truly androgynous in that description. But you're not sure if it's the individual themselves or something else that they have done to make themselves that way. And they seem to be dressed in a livery of some sort, a uniform, but like a white tie uniform.
Is this brownstone nicer than Alexander's?
You can't quite see enough of it to make that out.
Okay.
There is an elevator that you are led to and brought upstairs.
Oh, they have an elevator.
Just looking at ammunition, be like, I was in a nicer house than this one.
Oh boy.
I take the elevator and go upstairs. Say, wow, this is a really nice elevator I'm in.
Auden, could you roll me perception alertness?
I should eventually spend some of my XP and probably improve that. 1 success.
It's really weird. You're only getting like 1 word in 4 as Herschel's talking.
I'm just gonna text him like, I think the mic's breaking up.
You're muted.
I didn't hear that.
Neither did I.
Yeah, you're muted again.
Oh no, Herschel's really lost it.
Method acting at its finest.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, still no sound.
Is it your noise gate? Nope.
Nope.
How about that?
There we go.
Oh,
That
there we
works.
go.
All right, I just turned off the noise gate. I'll mess with it later. I text Auden back. Damn.
Oh,
You get a text from Herschel, Auden, but it doesn't seem to come through. You just get perpetual typing emojis.
it's like, oh. But he can still get all of my texts.
As of right now, yes, he's only received one.
Who's in the elevator with me? Is it the
just
lady from the door?
No, she gestured and pointed to the liveried gentleman or person of indeterminate description.
Do you guys have like a Wi-Fi password here? My signal's kind of bad.
There's no response from the individual that you are in the elevator with. They just seem to be operating the elevator. And then once it gets to the top floor, they kind of do the arm out the door for you to both gesture you out and to make sure that the door doesn't close on you.
Oh, well, I'll poke my head out and look from left to right, and I'll stroll out.
It is a single floor. Probably that same height level of fourth floor, third floor that Alex has. But where Alex is Norwegian and Swedish minimalism to its extreme, this is heavy red brocade and velvets, candles and candelabras all over the place. Very dark gothic. Think the Francis Ford Coppola Dracula Victorian house, that heavy dark reds and brocades. The floor is wood, but there are a number of large, thick Persian rugs covering the space. But it seems dark.
I'll just go to the room that he probably gestured to.
Yeah, well, no, it's like one big open floor.
Oh, do I see anybody in here?
Roll me that perception alertness. Two successes. You see a shift in the light and dark as if somebody moved, and you can kind of see a fireplace at one end and two chairs that seem to be there in front.
I'll go sit in one of the chairs by the fireplace. Just have like the flowers like sit across my lap.
I'm texting him still like, hey, still don't know what's going on. Are you okay? Why are you still typing?
You're not getting any response.
Has the typing emoji stopped?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I think I just sent him to the lion's den. Shit.
I've probably been in worse situations than this.
And like I can hear like maybe one word or two.
Yep. You haven't really heard anything in the last 30 seconds at all.
All right, Auden's going to be weighing whether or not she should tell Dad.
As you sit down, Herschel, you would see Franny sitting in front of you in a very form-fitting, but somehow still a 1940s Hollywood golden age, long red and black lace gown. Form-fitting and sensual, but not revealing. And she's holding a goblet in one hand and is just kind of smiles as you sit down and then gestures with a hand, and a small table with another goblet appears next to you in the chair you are sitting in.
Like out of thin air, it just that was a neat trick. I got these for you, and I'll like hold out the roses.
Oh, Herschel, you're so kind.
Yeah, but how did that appear?
We all have our gifts, Herschel.
But the last time back in the day, I don't think you could do that.
I couldn't do as much. And I didn't honestly do as much in front of you because you didn't know as much at the time.
Well, I like the place. This is nice.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's very nice. It's not quite home, but for when one needs to be professional, it does very nicely.
Oh, professional indeed. And I'll like straighten up my back. Like sit back in my chair, get good posture.
But we should catch up now that you aren't restrained by certain, well, I'm not restrained by certain limitings.
Yeah. You look nice.
Thank you.
So what do you want to know?
How have you been? How are things?
Well, I mean, like you getting back in contact with me is probably the biggest thing going on right now for me. Work's okay. A lot of it's just showing old men how to like use an email and what emojis are.
It is entertaining how sometimes those elders of ours really can't deal with modern technology, isn't it?
It's honestly very surprising. I tried getting rid of his rotary phone, and he got really upset.
Rotary phone, really? He's that trapped far in the past.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. How I can make a phone call in like 2 seconds, it takes him like 3 minutes. He's still upset that he doesn't get a dial a 1 and then the area code anymore.
Well, those are things to be important and keep track of.
Yeah, and apparently we also need encyclopedias now because he doesn't like using Google.
Well, Google doesn't have everything.
That's true, I suppose. But I mean, quite honestly, that's about all that's going on right now with me. It's pretty exciting. Let me tell you. But I mean, I've never really been here before. When did you get this place?
When I got promoted.
To just like owning the clothing line store?
Oh, well, that's secondary at this point. No, this promotion involved someone recognizing my other innate family talents and realizing that because of that, I had a lot more ability in certain areas than anyone else.
So like summoning the table.
No, that was nothing.
But like, what else can you do? I mean, I can really only like try to hide and like sing the Pink Panther song.
Well, I'm glad you still like Pink Panther. Hanna-Barbera was a great thing, and it was a bonding. I'm sad that they are no longer showing. No, I have certain gifts that I'm very good at, and certain others that I've learned to combine to be even better. So when some people thought that they should be in charge, I pointed out how much better at such things I am, and proved that this was mine.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's like, how high up on the totem pole are you? Like super up there? Middle?
I mean, what are we talking about, Herschel?
Your second job.
Okay, well, you know me, Herschel. Have I ever let anything stop me from getting what I wanted?
Honestly, no. No. I mean, I suppose I didn't either, but I guess that's probably why I'm here now.
I do want you to come work for us, Herschel. I think it'd be very much beneficial.
So, like what kind of work? You said just like basic IT server stuff?
Oh, there's some of that, but that's secondary. No, there are a couple people I just want to. Well, remember what I did to Angie Gaetano when she tried to beat me for class president in high school?
Yeah.
And how I thoroughly ruined her entire life?
She really didn't have much of a social career after that.
No. Somebody tried to take what I own away from me, Herschel, and I don't like that.
That's understandable. I mean, I probably wouldn't appreciate it either.
So I kind of want to destroy everything that they own, but I don't know what they own yet. So I could use some help.
Yeah, that sounds simple enough. Who is they? Who are you looking into?
A gentleman who seems to be tied to the Cameroon embassy.
Okay. Does he have a name?
Well, I'm not quite sure. I just tracked it down to there, so I know he's there. That and, well, some of the others I need to do more personal controls over and fixes, but this is about business at this point, so.
I see. This is more business. And he kind of like looks around, like left, right, like, I am so foolish.
Well, no, not all business, but business before pleasure, right, Herschel?
I mean, it depends on where your priorities are.
Well, I like completing business first so I can spend more time on pleasure.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. He's like calculating it in his head, like, how long would it actually take to look this up?
So, would you like to stay for dinner?
What would we be having?
Well, not Angie Gaetano.
I mean, I'm not too particular in my diet, but yeah, I'd like to stay.
Good. And she kind of gets up from the chair that she was sitting in and walks forward. And as she walks away from you, away from where the fireplace is, you can see that while the dress is very sensual but demure from the front. The drop on the back means that there isn't any. And she walks, and as she walks forward, a door appears, and she just kind of looks over her shoulder at you and says, "Are you coming?"
Yeah. And I'll stand up and smooth my pants out. What was on the table next to me?
Just the glass.
There's nothing in it.
It looks like blood.
Oh, okay. I'll just follow after.
And as you cross that threshold, could you roll me computers, or what is it, intelligence computers?
Intelligence. I will do.
Yeah. 6 successes. As you cross the threshold, you hear the mic that you've got pinned to you, just because you know computers really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
You hear it blow out.
Well, shit. I'm guessing I would notice at that point, like.
You would notice you come, and it's not coming from his phone. It's merely coming from his from the mic. You hear that kind of. It would hurt if you've got your headset in.
Mm-hmm.
Like loud static.
No, like once that even worse, that point when somebody blows out a mic on stage.
Mm.
And you've got that tech crew with their headphones in.
No, I'm yanking it out, going, "Son of a bitch!"
Yeah, basically that. And you don't notice anything from your phone, Herschel. And as you walk into this room, there are a number of other people. The taller black woman that you saw downstairs. Another African-American gentleman in a very fitted black and red kente cloth suit with a cane, seems to be perching on the arm of a chair. You see Larissa Weissman in this room, and very dressed in a sapphire blue gown. And as Franny enters, she says, "Herschel will be joining us for dinner, and then, well, we'll see what else Herschel chooses to join me for." As
Is Larissa Weissman the one I met a while back?
she's the primogen for the... And you would note, it's obvious in this space, everyone else in this room is subordinate to Francesca.
Where am I seated at the table?
As she sits down at the slightly larger end chair in the far, as she walks through the far end, and you see another small fireplace there, she sits in that chair, and she gestures for you to sit to her right, and you'll notice that Larissa Weissman sits to her left.
Thank you. This is really nice. I'm not actually used to this.
We're about to have a very pleasant dinner, Herschel. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Herschel, you can roll me perception alertness. Five successes. You're rolling really well today, Herschel.
It's those
You'll
heightened
notice
senses.
you'll notice that there are fine china, but it seems to be only mostly stemware on the table. Although there are bowls and kind of in front, and you see a number of other people that look that same level of androgynous features obscured, dressed in these white tail liveried uniforms, kind of appear suddenly. And you'll notice a number of humans are being brought in of various ages and demographics, and kind of buffet style, choose your dinner.
Ladies first, I assume.
And yes, Franny chooses first, and we're gonna close the door on the bloodfest that's going to erupt in that room, purely for the amount of mess. Although it should be noted that a number of these people don't seem to get messy no matter how violent what they're eating struggles, or who they're eating struggles. But on that, we're going to take a break for the day and be back shortly to find out what happens next.
Yep, stick around and we'll see if Urshel gets to be eaten by the evil vampires. And we're back. With Urshol about to be eaten. Oh, shoot.
And we just lost an Auden.
Well then,
Should
we'll
be
be
back.
right back again. And we're back. Let's keep going where we were.
Yeah,
So-
just dive right back into it. So all the humans are lined up.
Dinner is served.
There was dinner. There was a lot of blood. Herschel, did you restrain yourself at all?
Did anyone else?
Some did.
Yeah, I think I would. I wouldn't try to like get like my nice clothes super messy, so I would probably try to be very clean about it.
Some were less restrained. There's a gentleman at the far end of the table whose shirt was white when you sat down, but is no longer. There seems to be a lot of polite chit chat going on, multiple languages. Herschel, do you speak German?
Nope.
You can recognize that what's being spoken at the table is German, and Herschel, you're a Nosferatu. A number of people are looking at you slightly, not askance, but be more along the lines of, why your being here is weird and we don't know what's going on, but the person with more power has said that you're supposed to be here. So, okay, we'll figure, probably at some point we'll find out what benefit you have to us.
I'm sure Herschel will too.
Probably. It's a short, mostly polite chit-chatting. Franny seems to be running the room very easily. She's engaged in you a couple times, but it's all very...
Do you want me to make like an etiquette rule or roll?
Oh, yes, I was. Charisma etiquette, please. Remember that you have a -3 to that. Did it roll? Why did it not show?
I probably don't have enough dice to roll.
You don't. A number of people are looking at you slightly askance. It's obvious that you're trying to use the manners that Alex beat you over the head with at some point. But you turn the wrong way to talk to someone, you pick up the wrong fork. You are not powerful in this at all. Just roll me a d10, straight d10. You do not knock a glass over, but you kind of are very careful with where you put your hands. It's very obvious that you're watching everything as you do it. You're very precise. After about an hour and a half, Franny stands up from the table, looks at you, Herschel, and says, well, we've had business and dinner. Would you care to join me?
I'd look around. Sure.
Good. I'm assuming you're staying the night, Herschel, right?
I mean, I didn't bring an overnight bag. I hadn't really planned on it.
Oh, Herschel. You know me. I'm always prepared for everything. And I've known your measurements since we were 16. I guarantee you I still might have had 6 suits with you already.
Yeah, okay. Could I send a quick text message, or is that just my phone hasn't worked in a long time?
Oh, I'm so sorry about that. I should have warned you. Yeah, they don't seem to work in private spaces when I don't want them to, but sure. I can show you where you can make a quick text message. Anybody in particular you're contacting?
It better
it's-
be Auden.
Yeah, it's a coworker of mine. Yeah, her name's Auden. She does like social media work for the man I work for.
Oh yeah, I've met her. She came to the store. Fabulous outfits I made for her.
Yeah, she appeared to like him.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad. Well, come with me, Herschel. I can show you everything.
I follow her out of the room.
She points as she walks out of the room. You're still on this top floor of this building. She kind of goes up this half spiral staircase to another door that she opens, and she points to a like off alcove and
Mhm.
says, well, you can in there you could make your text message. I'll be waiting for you in here, Herschel.
Totally goes right over his head. But yeah, he'll go over to the alcove and he'll text, "Everything is going fine. Thank you," like winky smiley face.
Does he get the flood of messages Auden's been sending for like the last couple hours?
Yes.
Oh, so it's like, where are you? What's going on? Hey,
Like
hey,
everything
hey.
has broken. Like, oh my god. It's like, do I need to tell dads?
Let's
Like-
rewind a moment to see. Auden, you've been out of communication with Herschel for about an hour. Well, it was intermittent communication, and then an hour ago, you heard the mic blow out. And then it's an hour and a half after that you finally get, what are you going to do in that hour and a half? You haven't gotten his response yet.
So there's a lot of pacing. There's a lot of, I don't know what to do. Wait, it's like, where was that store again? Should I go find him? Auden's gonna go tell Alex, like, Alex, so don't be mad.
So Alex, you are busy downstairs with Sid. Sid has stepped out to get some other information and correlate some things, but you've been going over these documents and these papers. They're kind of spread out across your conference table because I'm assuming that you refuse to spend extended periods of time in Sid's office.
Yeah, I would like to not have my papers intermingled with everything else that's strewn across that office.
So you guys have been working at the conference table, kind of, and you look up and Auden's kind of looking at you. Slightly concerned.
Yes, Auden.
If you got yourself in a situation where you might have led somebody into the lion's den, but you have no way of knowing, what would you do?
Is the someone you led into the lion's den someone you like?
Like is a strong word, isn't it? You know? But, you know, I would...
What have you gotten yourself into?
Well, I might have sent an acquaintance to do some digging on the Tremere, and I might have lost contact with them.
And at that point, Alex will pull out his phone and he's going to text Herschel. "Hey, I'm downstairs in your room, poking around on your computer. Hope that's okay. ... Did I get a reply?"
No, you do not get a reply.
"Where's Herschel?" There's two ways we can do this. You can tell me what's going on, or I can pull it out of you. I don't want to do the latter, but I will.
Herschel is on a date, and I don't think it's going quite the way I thought it was going, and I don't get the impression that it's because he's... I don't know if Herschel has the ability to,
He's on a date with who?
I made a vow not to say.
At that point, Sid walks back in.
Again, I don't want to.
I
but
don't want you
I-
to either, but like I also,
And I'll activate all at that point.
damn it, can I resist this?
You can roll willpower.
I'm going to.
How many dots in dominate and presence do you have?
I have 3 apiece.
So your DC is 8,
Oh god.
and you need at least 4 successes.
Come on, Auden.
Well,
Roll that 10.
oh,
No, it didn't roll properly. It didn't roll properly. You put a
Yeah,
space.
Just
there's
a
a-
roll.
There's
You
a
need to-
space between.
I just got nervous.
The
3 successes, but you needed 4.
It's
No, that's just to activate the all. So that's right. I'm not actually trying to
yeah, I know, I'm
dominate
trying to
her
defend
yet.
myself.
No, but she is under
So-
this.
You're basically staring at me
Uh,
whether you want to or not now.
Yeah, you can't.
Wow, Alex, I never noticed how pretty your eyes are. I am trying really hard here, please. You gotta understand,
What the hell is happening?
There's secrets being told here, and I'm going to find out what they are. Unless you know.
About
Do you
what?
know where Herschel is?
Downstairs.
Uh-huh. Sid, try again. I was just down there.
No. I don't know. Did you leave the house?
He's gone. He's on a date, apparently.
Wow, who would want to date him?
Well, that's what I'm trying to find out. And I'll look back at Auden. Well,
he
On-
went.
I don't want to do this, but I will.
Okay, what's up with... Why you keep cutting her off?
You gotta understand, like, I don't want to snitch on him, but he might
Believe
be
it
on
or
a date
not.
with,
Go ahead.
he's on a date with Franny Maselli. That lady that made the suits.
And I'll look at Sid. Did you know this?
How the fuck would I know this?
I didn't want to tell. I really didn't.
Where did he go?
He went somewhere uptown, but the truth is, I don't really know where. He was supposed to. We had a microphone system, and he was gonna like let me listen in. And
At that point, I'll deactivate all. Now, knowing that he went uptown, would I know that he had gone somewhere for where the Tremere Primogen would be?
Auden, you know you heard him say he got on the 1 train and that he got off at 52nd Street.
he got on the 1 train because he wouldn't stop narrating everything. He got off at 52nd Street.
Oh, that fucking idiot. He has no idea what he's done.
Yeah, I would like to know, when did him and Francesca...
I don't really understand their dynamic, and frankly, the trying to put it all together would break my brain if I tried. But I don't know. This was the first time Herschel's ever trusted me with something, and it kind of felt significant. And
I understand your loyalties, and that's commendable. However,
don't tell him I'm being loyal, because I don't know. It's just
don't tell him I'm genuinely concerned.
I don't know. I had siblings once, and things ended real bad for me. And sometimes it felt good to have that trust again. But I think he's in over his head, and I think I made it worse by not saying something.
Again, if the Primogen of the Tremere is afraid of Francesca, that doesn't bode well for anyone.
No, it doesn't, but he made a really compelling argument for why he wanted to see her. And it wasn't like I couldn't hear nothing. It's just that the microphone stopped working and then it blew out.
Nothing wherever he is will work unless they want it to.
Yeah, the last thing I got was a "Don't worry, I'm fine" winky face, which I don't think it's fine. Unless that's Herschel for he's getting laid, which doesn't make it. That also means it's not fine.
Or he doesn't know what he's gotten himself into. And that's more likely the case.
There's no way we can go and retrieve him.
No. I wouldn't want to go anywhere near wherever the hell they have him.
So... do I still get a gold star for... I mean...
Why?
I don't know. I told you eventually. I just...
You get a stormy cloud.
Oh, don't worry. This is gonna weigh on it for like a long time. So many complicated feelings.
We can't go down and pull him out. I don't want to step foot near the Tremere.
All we can do is sit tight and wait for him to come back.
Stay in touch with him.
I'll try, but...
Don't tell him that you told us where he is.
I have no intention of doing that. So we're just gonna let him take his time coming back.
At this point, you finally get a text from Herschel. And Herschel, you finally get all of the messages that Auden tried to send you, along with Alex's "I'm in your room messing with your computer" text.
That one would like visibly be like... Like, I don't think he could get past the passwords, but everything's in how he likes it. And yeah, he would get just like a slew of just like exclamation points and question marks. And it's like, what? Why?
So, Alex, you get this panicked kind of question mark. What? Why? What are you doing? From Herschel. Auden, you get a "I'll see you tomorrow night" text from Herschel.
Oh, God. Oh. He says he's staying the night.
That's worrisome on many levels.
I swear to God. I think he's getting laid. I think he's doing more than we are.
That is actually the least of my concerns.
I still don't understand how he knows Francesca Maselli.
I mean, I don't know much about Herschel before he was turned.
No, and I was hoping this would be an insightful moment to learn these things, but apparently it's just...
Well, the Tremere, if anything, are prepared. And if they're not, then they're pretty damn good at adapting as well. So I wouldn't beat yourself up over that. Those things they have are probably well in place for, well, other reasons than Herschel visiting.
I wonder if they realize his connections to anything.
Oh, if they've done any research, I'm very, very sure they're aware.
Maybe him being a basement-dwelling freak is in his benefit, and they won't think he's worth looking up.
Oh, no. I'm very aware that Francesca knows a lot about us.
Well, they know where we live. I don't know if they've ever seen Urshel come out of the brownstone before.
I mean, is it really that difficult when he comes out humming the Pink Panther theme?
I mean, they would still have to be within line of sight or hearing range for any of that to work. And I don't think they have someone parked across the street from us all the time.
No, but there was a red Miata with vanity plates, right?
Yeah, I saw that. But I thought that was her car.
Yeah.
We know she's been keeping an eye on the place. I'm sure she knows quite a bit.
Well then. I guess we wait and see.
I don't think we have much choice at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go storm a castle to go find him, as it were.
No. Especially not a Tremere castle.
Yeah, if our misadventures at the CA's office was any indication, the place is likely to be trapped to all hell.
It would make the CPA office look like a trip to Disney World.
Well, this has been a horrible night in so many ways.
Yup.
Herschel, while you're standing there, your phone gives off another notification that somebody has posted a response to you on ShrekNet.
I'll go ahead and open that if I have a minute.
She said she would wait for you. So that's your question.
So with my 0 in etiquette and negative charisma, she can wait.
It's a response from, again, another Nosferatu that you are in contact with. That 2 men matching that description are unconscious at Bellevue and have been there for a week and a half.
I'll just give him thanks, this helps a lot. And then my secret code name, like Pink Panther Sneaks a Lot or something.
Okay. Your secret code name. There's no other response. What are you choosing to do?
So before I leave, could I like screenshot that and send it to Alexander, and then I'll like put my phone away?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I screenshot it, I send it to him, make sure like message sent, and then just like, well, turn it off and put it in my pocket.
You turn it off, you put it in your pocket, you walk through the door of this very large room. Franny is waiting for you, and she says, well, Herschel, close the door. We have all night.
I close the door slowly.
And we're just going to close the door on what happens after that. We'll let everyone's imagination go there.
Does she play some Marvin Gaye?
Probably
Barry White.
a little more what's her name?
Little Al Green.
Always Al Green. Definitely more God, what's her name? Some early Whitney Houston. Less dance Whitney, more soul R&B Whitney.
Yep, we know where this is going.
Yep. Does anyone else in the brownstone do anything this night after Alexander gets this email?
I'll let Sid know that apparently he's still alive. And apparently our CPAs are at Bellevue.
The hospital?
Yeah. Apparently they've been there for the last week.
Well, at least they're alive.
But what state? I don't know.
Thinking they might have ended up like the good professor.
Oh, I certainly hope not.
Oh no.
Oh no, what?
But just thinking about that professor and all that weird connection. This night is getting weirder by the minute.
Yeah. Well, while we wait after Herschel, we can always go and make a quick trip to Bellevue. What time is it?
It's probably late by this point. Maybe 3:00 in the morning. I mean, you didn't go. You had an 11:30 appointment with Sabrina. You went to Rebecca's. You came, there were maybe an hour there, so you probably didn't get home until 1:00. You were going through the details of things, and Auden didn't come down until after she hadn't had contact with Herschel for at least an hour and a half. So you're probably like 3, almost 4:00 in the morning at this point.
Yeah, I might just wait till tomorrow to do that. What'd you think?
It's not a terrible idea.
So if we're going to wait for tomorrow, we'll just wind the clock forward a little bit as the sun begins to set over the Hudson. And Herschel and Sid are both waking up, but Herschel is still away at the moment. Sid, what are you going to do as you awake?
Burn a blood point, because I awaken. Honestly, I think he'd wait for Auden and Alexander to wake up.
It's another hour, maybe hour and a half after you arise, kind of. And there's Alex begins to awaken this night, and you hear the alarm go off in Auden's room.
Auden is barely gonna wake up. She's gonna look at her phone right away, just like, oh boy.
There is still no answer from Herschel.
The last thing she'd said it was like, wait, what are you doing?
There is no answer. Alex, what are you doing?
I'm waking up, burning my blood point, and then heading downstairs to get with Sid and Auden so we can go visit Bellevue.
Assume you're taking the car.
Yes.
26th Street and First Avenue. Bellevue is a large facility. It is one of the largest hospitals in New York. It does have the major psych ward and is the oldest psych ward in New York, but it is also a major hospital. It is a very large building. Your driver pulls up in front. What would you like to do?
I'm assuming we're going to have to visit after hours.
Yes, but there's a security person, receptionist at the front desk.
Shall we head in? See if the hospital even knows if they're here.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan.
All right.
And Auden is definitely gonna. She keeps like looking at her phone.
There is an individual seated at the front desk. Very obviously a college student, or medical student, a number of books laid out in front of them with a highlighter in one hand and a pen in the other, kind of trying to probably work off that work study program.
Excuse me, I'm looking for these two gentlemen, and I'll hold the picture and give them their names.
Okay. Young woman, tightly pulled back hair. Latina looks at you. How do you know them?
Business associate. Important case. They're CPAs that work for my firm. I'm just trying to get some information to hand off to another one of the CPAs in the office so that everything can be taken care of.
Okay. And you see her kind of pull the computer up and start typing in names and I don't know how much information you're gonna. Okay, they're on the 13th floor.
Thank you.
I see you.
I'm sorry?
No, they're in the ICU.
Oh, the ICU. Oh, they're in the ICU. All right. Let's head upstairs. Do you know why they were admitted?
No.
All right. Well, thank you. Well, I'm gonna head towards the elevators.
Interestingly enough, Bellevue is one of the few buildings in Lower Manhattan that does have a 13th floor, actually labeled the 13th floor. Because there are a number of people in New York who are very superstitious, and therefore they do not put the 13th floor on the elevator. It goes from 12 to 14. Exiting the 13th floor, you are admitted into the neurological ICU unit. There is a older black woman seated at the nurse's station. Kind of glances at you and raises an eyebrow.
Good evening. I'm trying to find these two gentlemen. One Mr. Jacob Cohen and the other Mikhail Spiegler.
And you are...
A business associate.
That's very nice. You're in the ICU. Without permissions or allowances, no one but family gets through that door.
And I'll activate all. And I will like to use command. You allow myself and my associates to see these two gentlemen. And also any information that I would like, you would be more than happy to give to me.
I would be more than happy to give you that information. And you just see her kind of reach over and buzz the door, and you see the door to the ICU security lock go green.
Thank you. Oh, could you tell me what they were admitted for?
Found on the street, and she kind of pulls up the computer, taps a few keys, looks back at you. Found on the street, covered in electrical burns, not currently cognizant.
Thank you. All right. So it sounds like whoever was in there tortured them and dropped them off. Let's go see if they're awake.
All right.
They are actually in the same room, with a curtain in between. They look, even after being in here for a week, it's that point of like bruising has started to develop. It's in the green and yellow stages. You see a couple obvious bandages where across the arms and around, but they are both attached to a ventilator.
All right, so these two are in pretty bad shape.
Excuse me, not ventilator. They're attached to an oxygen system, not ventilator. They are breathing-ish on their own.
Okay.
Well, I say they have a lot to tell us.
Anybody wants to can roll me perception alertness.
All right. One
3 successes.
Oh, right. No successes.
I'll just
Auden's
reroll.
Auden's just busy checking her phone.
She's
4 successes.
waiting to hear from Herschel.
Auden is waiting to hear from Herschel. She's a little anxious. She probably looked in, realized that they were unconscious on the bed, and kind of turned away and was like, nah, nothing else I need.
Yeah, she would very clearly be like, well, they're not going to be talking back.
Alex would notice that they're on an oxygen system, but it seems very odd. Their breathing doesn't seem right somehow, but you're not 100% sure. Sid, with those 4 successes, you notice that there are a number of, well, you see the electrical burns across the body. You also notice that their breathing isn't right for something that is living. it seems forced somehow, like a mechanical in some way. As if it was regulated by machine, but they are not currently hooked up to a ventilator to regulate their breathing.
Okay.
You also would notice that Mikhail is, you notice a slight, well, one of the two is started to, their bandages on their arms have started to turn red. As if they've started bleeding.
Is there anything under the bandage, like a tube for intravenous, like
Nope.
stuff, or okay, IV stuff, or okay?
No, these look like bandages that were covering burn marks and that they've started to bleed. You would also notice it a little bit at the corners of the eyes.
Is their heart still beating?
Yes, but it has that same kind of false mechanical. This isn't what a normal human's heart sound like. It doesn't sound like an animal. It doesn't sound. It's beating, but it's almost too regulated, and it's too long in between beats. It's slowed significantly, but it's still there, sort of. And it seems to be slowing, although it doesn't seem to be registering on that to the heart monitor that they are plugged into.
What do you make of that? Seems like their heart is beating some sort of fake heartbeat or something.
Their breathing's off. They're not like the professor. I mean, he was up and cognizant.
I mean, we could try unplugging them, but then we'll get the attention of the nurses and all that.
Yeah, we don't need security down here. And I'm assuming they're hooked up to heart monitors. I mean, they still show a pulse, correct?
Yeah, but Sid would tell you that the pulse that he's hearing doesn't match the pulse on the heart monitor.
Well,
The pulse on the heart monitor is more regular. It's more like an individual in a coma.
So I wonder what.
I mean, were they attacked by something?
Well, I mean, they were tortured.
Well, that answers that question for me. Non's just going to kind of tuck her phone away. She's kind of given up. Well,
Oh, we could try feeding them.
I was gonna say, do they have like charts of what they've had done since they've been admitted?
maybe you should go ask your nurse friend.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back out and ask what the treatment's been on the two that have been in there.
Treated them for second electrical burns, treated them for heart arrhythmia. Brain function seems normal. Heart function is stable. They're unconscious. And we also treated one for water
Dehydration?
No, for drowning.
But they don't have any IVs hooked up. I don't have
No,
any.
well, I mean, they have IVs, but the ones that's bleeding, the bandages that they were bleeding out of was not the IVs. It's everything else so far.
I'll go back in the room and check the bandages that are bleeding. I'm gonna look under, just kind of see if we can pull it to the side and see why it's starting to bleed. If they're burns, I mean,
They're not bleeding from the burns. It seems they're bleeding. It's seepage, as if it's bleeding from.
so from like their pores.
Yep.
Does it smell like human blood? Or does it smell like Vitae?
Smells like both.
That means they could be ghouls.
Well,
But if they were ghouls, they should be able to heal better than average. They wouldn't. I don't think they'd be in here for quite as long as they have been, or at least look as rough as they do.
I'm still thinking they're like the professor.
Well, do you want to cut their head open and find out?
I mean, Auden has a point in medicine and a couple in occult. Would it be worth trying to roll one of those and see if like intelligence or
you
something?
could enroll intelligence and cult or intelligence medicine. You would get different information with both.
I wonder. Yes, I was gonna say
I think I'm gonna roll one of each then.
check their head and see if they've been cut open recently.
All right. Start with the medicine. 3 successes on that one.
Ooh, very impressive. No, their head hasn't been cut open, but you do see, if you kind of look them over and kind of turn them around, a small surgical scar on the back of their neck.
Did the professor have a surgical scar or something?
I don't know if he had a surgical scar, but there was something implanted in his spine.
Well, this is definitely an upper spinal cord kind of cut. And if I roll a cult, 4 successes.
When you get that close to whichever one you're looking at, and you're kind of looking at the surgical cut, you could definitely see that it's older than the treatments that they've been receiving in the hospital. More healed over. Professionally done, but definitely healed over. And as you're standing there looking at it with occult and medicine, and you're looking through what's going on, you realize that the blood that you're smelling, it's less and less human and more vampire.
So they're being artificially turned probably right here, right in front of us.
Is there any other machinery or anything in the room? Dilated, like a dialysis machine or anything like that?
No, but there's probably one down the hall.
You want to pump their blood out?
No, I'm curious to see if this is where they're manufacturing these artificial vamps.
Well, this surgical scar is definitely older. But whatever is going on with them now, that is definitely since they've been here.
And then what they'd move them down into the sewers after, like where we found the professor.
Imagine they can't keep them in the ICU forever without raising some alarms. You don't usually leave people in the ICU for that long.
How far is Bellevue from where we found the professor?
number of blocks. Well, Bellevue's at 26th Street, and you found the professor at the Canal Street station, so like 30 blocks.
So they would have taken him quite a ways. Yeah, I don't know if that's where
Is
they're
there
taking him.
is there another hospital near that stop where we found the professor?
Give me a second. Yes, there are 2.
And if there can any connection to this hospital, or at least a network, it's possible that there's multiple locations they're trying this.
Yep.
It's possible.
Well, what do we do with these guys? We can't have more artificial vampires running around. Already got one pet.
Oh, we had to put it down.
Should we keep one? Try to wake him up, talk to him?
I mean, we definitely need to extract some information from them. I'm gonna gently slap one across the face and be like, wake up. Hey, wake up.
Roll me 3d10.
7, a 5, and a 2.
You see fluttering behind the eyes. And it takes a while, but you see one of them start to groggily try and focus on you.
Which one of the 2 is it?
Jacob, the taller.
Morning, Jacob.
He kind of seems to struggle to focus on you. Yeah.
My name's Sid Zimmerman, private detective. I'm investigating a case of disappearances here in New York, and your name came up. You're in the Bellevue Hospital right now. Do you recall anything that brought you to this hospital?
Mikhail, someone came in to the house. The wards didn't stop them.
Do you know who it was that came in the house?
No. Not someone allowed.
Could you
The wards didn't stop them.
could you describe them if you tried?
He seems to struggle to focus. Black mask. 3.
3 of them?
Yeah.
Do you know what's been happening to you here?
No. Burns. Struggling to breathe.
We're aware that you're ghouls.
Not ghouls.
So, you don't work for the Tremere.
Tremere. Nosferatu. Malkavian. All come. lupine. 2.
Well, that would explain why they're not healing.
So what do we do?
Wait.
Sid, could you roll me perception alertness?
Did they just say they were lupine?
No, they said they did work for the lupine.
Oh, yeah, makes sense.
Basically, they're the supernatural CPA.
Yeah. 4 successes.
Actually, could you? Oh well, yeah, you'd still get 4 successes. You hear something very odd as you're focused on Jacob. He's talking to you, but you hear his heart stop. But the alarm on the heart monitor doesn't go off. It keeps beating regularly.
Is the heart monitor connected to him in any way?
Yes. I mean, you see the little clampy thingy on his finger.
Okay.
Yeah, but the clampy thingy doesn't go to your heart. It's your oxygen.
That's your oxygen. But I mean, like, you see a number of things that are connected to the heart monitor. There are connections made to the heart monitor.
So, welcome to the world of the unliving.
I don't... Where's Mikhail? And you just see him pass out.
Oh, well, I guess he's dead.
I don't think he's dead.
So, feeling for a pulse. He's obviously got no pulse now.
Yep.
Oh, well.
I mean, it's the body. So the body's still warm, I'm presuming.
I mean, literally the heartbeat stopped.
As we were talking to him.
Yeah. But it stopped like 45 seconds, a minute and a half before he passed out.
Great.
This is boding well.
Well, if these two are anything like the professor, there's one of 3 ways this could end for them. None of the 3 are good.
So who's making all of these and why?
I can't wait to find out how pissed off they're going to be to find out when these guys are dead.
Oh, the other one's not, is he? Just the first one.
So is Mikhail's heart still beating?
Mikhail's heart is still... Well, Mikhail's heart...
Sure.
Yes, Mikhail's heart is still beating irregularly. Jacob's heart monitor is still saying that he's beating normally. He seems to be breathing-ish.
But is that still whatever was forcing them to breathe? Or...
Yeah, that kind of mechanical level of breathing, yeah.
We can't really bring them out of here.
No, that's too many red flags.
The question is, what do we do with them?
Well, we know where they are. Should we see if we can get any information out of Mikhail? And then
I
we
think
just
so.
hand them over to Larissa and Francesca?
Oh, yeah, because they wanted us to find them. Well, wait, they wanted us to find them,
Yeah.
not bring them.
No, that's what I said. We find out what we can and we let them know they're here. then we see what happens.
I guess that's what we should do then.
And I mean, if anything, we can use them as leverage to get Herschel back.
Which that makes Auden check her phone again and text him like, "Do you have an ETA of when you'll be back?"
I think on that, we're gonna end it for today.
Well, damn.
It's all right though. Now we have bargaining chips. We have some leverage.
We have bargaining chips, I guess.
That assumes that Herschel wants to leave.
I don't think
Oh,
we
come
want.
on. Would Herschel choose tail over his family?
I would say yes. My thing is if he decides to stay with them, then he's no longer our hindrance. He's their hindrance. He starts affecting their roles, not ours.
Have the Pink Panther song.
That's right.
He's still doing okay?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just bit my lip during the stream.
Oh,
It's
no.
bugging me. Anyway, hey, thank you everyone for coming. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the follow, the donations, the hosts. We'll go around the table. Tell us who you are, where we can find you on the internet, what you have going on in your lives, and then we'll go raid someone for the afternoon. I think, if I remember right, our friend Jess is playing some Mouse Guard right now for charity. So we might hop on, leave the darkness of New York behind, and go watch something a little more wholesome, a little more family-friendly, I hope. I don't know how their game is going. But let's...
It's a family drama.
Yeah, let's go around the table. We'll start with Scott.
Hello, Scott here at Berserker_Rage on Twitch and in Twitter. So be sure to stop by and find me in those wonderful places. You can find me here on Saturdays doing what it is the Vamp Dads do. So be sure to tune in and check us out. We always appreciate it.
And, wow, I was gonna say Herschel, but what I meant was Quentin.
Yeah, again, I had a great time as always. Deirdre, Simon, Scott, Alyssa, like just so many fun times. I don't have really anything going on. You don't just come and check out this show Saturdays. It's supposed to be 10, but sometimes like 10:15, 10:20. So yeah, check that out. And then next week you can see Herschel maybe get mad at Auden.
I mean, he might not know that she told.
Or he might not even make it back. Who knows?
And, Alyssa.
And it's me, Xander Slambleton on Twitch, on Twitter. I'm here on Saturdays. I am so glad to be here. It's been so much fun. Thank you all so much. I am so excited for the next round of our family drama.
And finally, Deirdre.
Oh, hey, all. You know me. I'm at Deirdre Donlin on Twitter, Praxagora Thesmiophoria, as you see me hanging out in the Twitch chat. And as for me, tomorrow, I'm having all of the fun. So many things are coming together, and it's so much fun, and so much drama waiting to come out, and I'm so happy. But as for me, you can find me tomorrow at 3 p.m. over on Other Doc's channel for some Baron Munchausen. And the Contessa Lucretio Sofia Fioravanti is going to go, drinking and storytelling for some Baron Munchausen. Then Monday, I'm over on Role Players for some Age of Arcana fun. But check my Twitter. I always post where I'm going to be. And let's see what happens next week.
Yep. And this show, like all of our shows, was sponsored by Mage Hand Press. You can go to their store at store.magehandpress.com. Use Wandering DM to get 15% off of any books that you would like to purchase. They make supplement for 5th edition D&D. Very good supplements, by the way. We play one of them, Dark Matter, here every Tuesdays at 8 p.m. We will be back. I think we're gonna have to skip this Tuesday again because of work-related things on my end, but I'm not quite sure. I'll post it on Twitter this week. Also, if you follow me on Twitter at wondering_DM, there are a bunch of announcements that I have to work on today, actually, for upcoming games, one of which is a charity stream that we'll be having with a very, very special guest. Yeah, check out Twitter. Let's go raid Jess, who's playing some Mouse Guard with my friend Jay Dawson, who played in Mouse Guard with me way back a couple years ago. He's the one who basically introduced me to the game. So let's go do that, and we will see you